Okay, so I thought if we'd gone through how to find the median and the mode from a frequency table, it's also worth discussing how to find the mean from a frequency table. Now, these frequency tables, they're all what we call discrete, okay? Basically, these numbers here are all just whole number values. Okay, you don't need to worry at the minute when they're not discrete or what we call continuous. But that is another type of frequency table you'll see later in your school life, basically. When we do this, okay, when we find the mean, if we think back to what we said, okay, the mean is when you add them all up and divide by how many there are. Okay, except when it's in a table, it doesn't quite work as easy as that, okay, because actually we can't just add them all up. We need to do a little bit more calculations first. So when I've got this, okay, I've got my number of children, I've got my number of days, and then I've got this fx, okay, this fx just means my frequency times whatever my value is. Now you will see in this one, I've said number of children is x and number of days is f. So basically I'm doing days multiplied by children. Okay, because whatever we're looking at with this question, if I just look back to the my maths, is about absentees, so people being off school. So we're saying one child is off school for 3 days, 2 kids are off school for 5 days, 3 kids are off school for 3 days, and so on. This is very ironic at the minute because it would be like, I don't even know how many of you there are off school for many days. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to multiply all of these things together. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 times 3, which is just 3. Then I need to do 2 times 5, which is 10. 3 times 3 to get 9. 4 times 5 to get 20, and 5 times 3 to get 15. Because these are how many days off there are in total. If 2 kids have 5 days off each, actually in total there's 10 days. If 5 kids have 3 days off, in total that's 15 days. Okay, that's what we're working out there. That is our total. So now we add all of these up. Okay, and I'm happy with these if you want to use a calculator. Generally these questions come up on calculator papers. Sometimes they won't if they're nice numbers. But when I add them all up, I get 57. Okay, I've just done it literally. Bit of a fancy calculator, but I've just added them up. And I get 57. Okay, the other thing I need to add up is my total frequency. Okay, ignore this column, it's my frequency column. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. And I get 19. Okay, now to work out my mean, okay, to work out the mean, I am going to do f of x, so the total of f of x over f. You'll sometimes see this written as the sum of fx over the sum of f. Basically, as long as you know to divide that by that, that's what you need to know. So what I am doing is 57, outside of the camera, divided by 19. Okay, and when I do that, when I do 57 divided by 19, I end up with 3. Okay, so in this case, my mean is just 3. So, on average, people had 3 days off school. That's what we're saying. The mean of the days off school was 3. Now, in your second part, you get asked to make some comparisons, okay? And you get a table probably looking something like this. It might look slightly different. When you get something like this, split it up, okay? Don't try and do anything together. They are 2 separate tables, so treat them as 2 separate tables. So what my first thing would be to do is to actually just split them up. Okay, so I would start doing my girls and my boys separately. So I might even just take it like that. That I've got my number of merits and my girls right there separately. I've ignored the boys, they're not there. And then what I've got just trying to make it so I can write on it, is this, in this case, my FX, or what I'm going to be doing with this one is merits times girls, because I'm trying to work out the total number of merits, okay? If you think merits are like e-praise, okay? So if I was trying to work this out for our class, if 6 of you had, or if 2 of you had 6 merits, if 11 of you had 5 merits, and so on, that's what I'm actually trying to work out. They are e-praise, basically. So I do 7 times 0, which is 0. I do 12 times 1, which is 12. 13 times 2 is 26. 16 times 3. I'm going to be lazy today and use my calculator. It's 48. 14 times 4 is 56. 5 times 11, I don't know why I'm using my calculator for that. 5 times 11 is 55. And 6 times 2 is 12. And now I'm going to add all of these up together. So I'm going to do 0 plus 12 plus 26 plus 48. And this is all going off the screen now. But I keep on going. I keep adding them all up. Okay, adding those values up. So I've got 0 plus 12 plus 26. You can see I'm just putting it in my calculator. Plus 48 plus 56 plus 55 plus 12. And I get 209. Okay, so I've got 209 merits in total. I then need to work out how many girls I've got in total. So I'll add them up. So I'm going to do, if you can see the numbers there, 7 plus 12 plus 13 plus 16 plus 14 plus 11 plus 2. And I get 75. Okay, so in total there are 75 girls, which you can probably just about see. So now, to find my mean, I'm running out of space here, I'm going to do 209 divided by 75. And I end up with this lovely number here, this 2.786 and so on. You will probably want to round it. It might ask you in the question. In this case, I'm just going to round it to 2.79. Okay, it is okay to get a decimal answer with these. Okay, it is likely that you will get a decimal answer. Basically, because we're doing what's called estimating the mean. We're not going to get an exact answer. It is likely to be a decimal answer. So don't panic if you suddenly get a decimal. Okay, once I've done that, I do the same thing for the boys. So I'm going to save that I've got those girls somewhere. I'm now going to ignore the girls. And I'm going to do the same thing for the boys. And I can just about see what I've written here. Okay, so I'm going to do 0 times 5. So my F times X, or in this case, I'm now doing boys times merits, which is 0. 9 times 1 to get 9. 14 times 2 to get 28. 18 times 3 to get 54. 14 times 4 to get 56. 13 times 5 to get 65. And 6 times 2 to get 12. Okay, and I'm going to add those all up together again as before. So I've got 0 plus, you can just about see, 9 plus 28 plus 54 plus 56 plus 65 plus 12, and I get 224. Again, I need to work out how many boys there are, so I'm going to do 5 plus 9 plus 14 plus 18 plus 14 plus 13 plus 2. And there are 75 boys, okay? So we've got the same number of boys and girls. Now to find my mean, I just need to divide these two things. So I'm going to do 224 divided by 75. Okay, and when I do this, I get 2.986. And again, I might want to round that to 2.97. Now, if it asks you to compare, on average, who's got more, boys have got 2.97. Girls, which I worked out earlier, have got 2.79. So boys, on average, get more minutes. Now, hopefully, that has gone through it. Give it a go. Try it. Your questions and your numbers might be slightly different. Okay, but work through it. Have a go. And ask me any other questions if you need them. Okay, keep smiling. Keep working hard. And just keep going. Bye.